All right, so hey guys, let me answer to you guys. I'm going to get back for my UEFA Champions League recap. You guys know I always do this every time. We're back for some Champions League action. We've got two games to discuss. We have the first leg of both semifinals, and it was really interesting. Both these semifinals are very different in their own ways, and we'll be discussing all of that in today's video. I'll also give you guys potential things to happen in the second leg, look ahead and all that. I'm sorry this is coming to you guys on a Friday because there was a match Barcelona played yesterday, which I did the match review for, and obviously. So I didn't want to do a double upload that day, so that's why I decided to upload today. So tomorrow, guys, you guys will get the Valencia match preview, and the Sunday, you guys will get the match review. So let's start with this game first, and that is Chelsea. Real Madrid won, Chelsea won. And I have to say this on the day, that Chelsea absolutely should have won this game. Now, Real Madrid, for me, they're probably fortunate they even got an equalizer in this game because Real Madrid didn't really play particularly too well. As you can see, stats are really favoring Chelsea here. 11 shots, 5 on target, whereas Real Madrid, 9 shots, 1 target. It was a very even game, to be fair. I mean, it was a very even game, and possession was very even. Passes was about even as well. The thing, though, that was a big gulp in quality was the fact that Chelsea dominated that first half. That first half was controlled by Chelsea so nicely. And I remember Warner on the day, man, had so many chances. I remember that Warner, that chance he had, Courtois saved it. It was a great save in the 8th minute of the game, And I think for me, what we saw with Chelsea is they took the game to Real Madrid. And that goal from Christian Pulisic was absolute beauty. You look at Rudiger. That long ball for Rudiger to Christian Pulisic was a beautiful long ball. And Christian Pulisic, he is 1v. Christian Pulisic finds himself in a good space. Courtois tries to get them. Christian Pulisic runs him off. Not runs him off. What's the thing called again? Let me see the thing. Rounds him off, I think. Let me see what the description is. Christian Pulisic. Let's see right here. Yeah. No, right here. Yeah. So Rudiger, yeah, takes it around Courtois. Yeah, they basically takes it around Courtois. No Real Madrid players were marking him, and Varane and Militao, I think they were standing on the line. And basically, Pulisic was 1v1 with the empty net with 2 defenders on the line. He had to get it perfectly, and I think he went straight in the middle. And it's 1-0 to Chelsea. Chelsea get that away goal, and that is a very, very valuable. We know how important away goals are in this competition. And it was a great assist, Then, guess what, guys? Real Madrid find a really quick equalizer. Real Madrid find an equalizer soon after. In the 29th minute, 15 minutes later. It was a great play from Marcelo to find Karim Benzema there. Actually, to find Eder Militao, I think, was it, right? Yeah, Eder Militao. Let me go check right here, yeah. Benzema levels it, so Spanish side as Benzema converts from the volley. Marcelo whips a dangerous cross into the back post of Casemiro, who heads it across the goal. Casemiro, Militao helps it onto the path of awaiting Benzema, who reacts and steers the effort. Past Mendy with the backline net. So it was a very good goal from Benzema. It was a very, very good goal from Benzema. And it was a great volley. It's a great volley indeed. And we see how important Benzema is to this team. And that without Benzema, Real Madrid would never be in this position. Real Madrid wouldn't be in the semifinals. They wouldn't probably be in the La Liga race. And Real Madrid would be struggling big time. And he has came on time and time again. And he knows how to score. Benzema is one of the best players for Real Madrid this season. He's been phenomenal, And, so then, like I said, there was a great chance for Warner to score, I think, and he basically put it past wide. So I think this is a chance to about 41st minute. So at halftime, it was 1-1, and it was a very even game, and I think both sides would be, content with this, and, at halftime, it was looking very even, and I think Chelsea really should have played very well, and Chelsea played well. The second half, there wasn't really a lot in the second half. I'm not going to lie, guys, the second half, there wasn't really a lot to the game. The second half was kind of boring, to be honest with you guys. There wasn't really a lot in the second half. So, I mean, like I said, I think both sides would be content with the result. Probably Chelsea would be more content, but at the same time, they'd also be disappointed because I think Chelsea dominated this game. Real Madrid, for me, they didn't really play particularly well. And we saw how much Conte made a difference. Conte was running that midfield. Kroos, Modric, Casemiro, they're all nullified by Conte. Conte was excellent for Chelsea, in my opinion. Definitely my man of the match. He was the best player for Chelsea on the day. Obviously, Christian Pulisic played really well. Timo Werner, I didn't think played particularly well. Was probably one of the worst players for Chelsea on the day. For Real Madrid, I got to say best player is definitely Benzema because he's the one that came up with that goal. Marcelo kept getting ran past. Marcelo was terrible defensively. Marcelo was getting ran past, and he will not be there in the second leg because he is going to vote. So Real Madrid should be Real Madrid needs to get Ferland back. Yeah, so I think for me the Real Madrid shape 3-5-2 didn't work whatsoever in this game, and I think in the second leg Real Madrid will probably play in a 4-3-3 for the second leg, and I expect I expect them to line up with a 4-3-3, and they'll probably have a stronger team. I think Valverde should be back by then. Sergio Ramos should be back by then as well, and maybe Ferland. So these three players will be very important for Real Madrid, and that if these three players are back, I think Real Madrid put a better performance. Whether they'll go through or not, it's hard to say because I really don't know. Judging from this performance, though, I think Chelsea are probably the favorites going to the semifinals now. Because favorites going into the final because, like I said, they do have that away goal. And Chelsea, we know how strong they are defensively, and I think Real Madrid find it very difficult. And I think both teams would be content with this. So, worst player for Real Madrid on the day was probably Marcelo, in my opinion. Best player for Real Madrid for me was probably Benzema. Worst player for Chelsea has to be Warner. Warner was basically a brick in this game. He missed so many opportunities, and Warner's just been pretty awful. And best player for Chelsea has obviously been Christian Pulisic. He got that crucial. Actually, not Christian Pulisic. Conte, the best player for me, in my opinion. So, yeah. Let me know what you guys think about the second leg because I think it's going to be interesting to see what happens because Chelsea are now in the driving seat. We move on to the other semifinal, which was PSG 1 and Manchester City 2. And what a game this was. This was an incredible game. Not going to lie, guys. This was a fascinating game. And I'm honestly surprised it even got to this stage. Like, it came down to this. And once again, guys, PSG, when their pressure is on them to perform, can they do it? And they looked really good. PSG looked really solid in the first half. I was really impressed with how PSG played so well in the first half. They were creating chances. Angel Di Maria was amazing for PSG in that first half. Those crosses into the box. And the first goal came courtesy of a great delivery from Di Maria to Marquinhos, and Marquinhos scores. We see how important Marquinhos is for this PSG team. And time and time again, he's always scored crucial goals for PSG, and that he has been a very vital player for them in the goal-scoring department, and Di Maria was amazing. That said, though, even though PSG did play very well and City were very average in the first half, PSG didn't really create a lot of opportunities. Most of their chances came through crosses. Most of their chances basically came from the corners, and I think that's what the difference here. And as you can see the stats right here, guys, the corners on the day. Where's the corners? Yeah, PSG had 6 corners. You know, you guys can't see it, but basically, yeah, it was 6 corners. So I think most of those chances came from the corners. You know, for me, Manchester City, they had a few chances. I think that chance for Bernardo Silva was a great chance the first half, if I'm not mistaken. I think Foden had a great chance to score. Navas made that save. And at 1-0 at halftime, I think PSG would have been very content with that scoreline. The problem, though, with PSG is that they didn't really get that second goal, which I believe ultimately costed them. And as for City, man, City took it on a new level in the second half. They looked completely different. It was a game of two halves, essentially. It was almost like the scripts flipped, right? It was like almost like PSG. Like, this is what, to me, this game it was like. PSG played so well in the first half, and the City looked really average. And then in the second half, it basically flipped. PSG were very average, and City looked amazing. So, what a game, you know, and that's a very interesting narrative here, you know. And PSG, they looked really complacent. They kind of like didn't really put the step in the pedal. They were kind of like passing it backwards. They're making mistakes. You know, they didn't really look for it. And City were pressing them. City were pressing them very, very hard indeed. And City were looking for that goal. And you could see how much that pep halftime talk really vitalized the team. And I think PSG started to feel get more complacent. And I think they didn't really want to go for it. And this game reminds me of what Barcelona kind of did yesterday, which I obviously don't want to talk too much about because I already spoke my feelings about. But it's a very similar manner, to be honest with you guys. You know, and I think for me, that goal from Kevin De Bruyne has to be class. That was a brilliant goal. Now, I know some people are going to be blaming Navas for that goal, and to be fair, it is true. You can't blame Navas, which I'm not saying he doesn't deserve any blame. Of course, you can. But at the end of the day, I don't think it's all Navas's fault. You know, it was still a very tricky ball, you know, and perhaps it was a difficult angle. Not going to lie, guys. I think for me, that goal, I mean, you would expect him to say, but I mean, it's a difficult angle. So, you know, it's a crucial away goal for PSG. Not PSG, Manchester City, Kevin De Bruyne, and that was a brilliant cross. And we can see how big Kevin De Bruyne is time and time again. And he actually has a good record against PSG. I think he scored 3 goals against them in the 3 games he has played against them. So that's a pretty good record for him, obviously. And then that free kick, I think was from Paredes. They gave the yellow card in a very dangerous position, and Mars and De Bruyne stepped up. And Mars actually took it, which I was very surprised with. And Mars actually went through the PSG player's hole. There was basically a hole in the wall. I'm going to see if I can show you guys any images. Let me see. If there's any images? Yeah, is there any images? Oh yeah, Zinchenko got that assist for the first goal, by the way. There is no images here. That sucks. I wanted to show you guys some images. Yeah, there's no images here for some reason. So I guess they're not showing that for copyright reasons, or I don't know actually. Basically, there was a hole between Kimpembe and I believe was it someone else. I forgot who else. And basically, Morris kicked the ball through the hole, and basically it's 2-1 to Manchester City. And at this point, I knew PSG crumbled. PSG crumbled, and you could tell that once PSG conceded that first goal, it was almost over for PSG. And then obviously look at that red card challenge Idrissa Gueye did on Ilkay Gundogan, which was a terrible challenge. That means he would be sent off, and it was a direct red, which was the right decision in my opinion. And he will not be there for the second leg as well as the remainder of this game. So for me, man, PSG they turned into LSG in the second half. And I just think that for Mauricio Pochettino here, some people are going to be blaming him and say, "Oh, why didn't you make more substitutions?" or and all that. I think you can blame Pochettino. I think Pochettino does deserve blame, but he isn't the only person to blame here. Because at the end of the day, guys, I think for me, on the day, PSG didn't really look that great. Mbappe and Neymar weren't really there on the day. They were kind of like absent on the day, to be honest with you guys. They were kind of like non-existent at times. For me, Di Maria was definitely PSG's best player. Marquinhos was decent, obviously. Verratti had some good touches. Bakar was pretty terrible, in my opinion, probably the worst player for PSG on the day. Paredes, you could also blame as well. And overall, it wasn't really a good PSG performance. I think for me, PSG should really look themselves down because it was a great chance to do so and create history. But yeah, so worst player for PSG on the day, I have to say is probably Bakar or maybe Mbappe at the end of the day. He had some good touches. I remember Mbappe did a really cool turn with Ruben Diaz there, and he almost had a great assist to Marco Verratti there. Unfortunately, Verratti wasn't there just to meet it. So, Neymar, I would say, was pretty was sad to say. I don't really know who the worst player was for PSG. Maybe I will say Bakar, I guess. The best player for PSG definitely was Di Maria. Di Maria was so dangerous. He was one of their best players for sure. As for Manchester City, their best player in the day has to be Kevin De Bruyne. Kevin De Bruyne, that assist, that goal he scored was beautiful, and he was commanding that team. He had a really good effort to score in the second half as well. I remember he had like a great bicycle attempt, or not. He had a great acrobatic attempt, and obviously it wasn't to be. I thought Ruben Diaz was very solid as well. Mahrez was also very good as well. John Stones was very good. Ederson was decent. João Cancelo. I have to say João Cancelo was probably the worst player in the day. João Cancelo was really one of the worst players of the day. I didn't think he had such a good game. And the reason why I say that is because João Cancelo was keep getting right apart. Like Di Maria basically nullified him. João Cancelo wasn't able to do anything in this game. And I think Di Maria basically got rid of him. Like Di Maria basically made him he basically pocketed him. Di Maria was so good, and I don't think João Cancelo could really do much. So probably for me, the worst player in the day. Best player, you could say Kevin De Bruyne, or you could say Ruben Diaz. I'm going to say Kevin De Bruyne because for that goal he scored was absolutely beautiful. And yeah, man, Zinchenko. I think when Zinchenko came on, he changed the game for Manchester City, and that substitution I think was very key, and it was good to see Pep Guardiola did that. So yeah, so coming into the second leg, guys, Manchester City have the advantage, and PSG have this. So are we going to see an all-English final? And let me give you guys my verdict on that. Most probably, yes. I think we're going to see an all-English final this season, the UEFA Champions League. We're going to see a Manchester City versus Chelsea. Although, we'll say this, though. I think PSG, they're done. I don't see them making a comeback at the Etihad Stadium. I don't think they'll have enough goals to score with them. And we saw how defensively strong Manchester City were and how much Mbappe was struggling, so I don't think they'll do it. Chelsea, Real, that could go either way, but I would still give the edge to Chelsea here because I think Chelsea is a much better. Chelsea defensively looked really strong. I don't think Real Madrid are that great defensively speaking, and I think Chelsea will be able to get at that Real Madrid team, and I think they'll be able to make it through. So I'm going to say Chelsea versus Manchester City in the UEFA Champions League final. Who knows, man? Who knows? We're going to have the second legs coming up very soon. And yeah, so that's it for today, guys. Let me know what you guys think below in the comment section below. Who you guys think was the best player for both of the teams, all four of these teams, who you guys think was the worst player. And what do you guys think? Are you guys excited for the second leg? Because I certainly am. So I hope you guys enjoyed the video, guys. Remember to comment, subscribe, check out my description below for my Twitter or Discord, in my email, and I'll see you guys later. Peace out.